We are on borrowed time. I cannot lie to you. I'm running late. I'm running late to meet a stranger at the British History Museum. But today is also the 40th episode. Confetti! Confetti! I don't have the budget for that yet. What I do have the budget for is yet another episode of me screaming at you. And the camera is on 8% because something in this environment is not working. AKA, we don't have a second go. Let's get the fuck into the episode. Breathe in. Welcome to What the Fuchs with Jess Fuchs. Now breathe out. And scream. Because here's what's pissed Jess off this week. Now, I can't stop sweating. Is that because I'm most likely hungover because yesterday was the first time in, I don't know, half a decade that I was drunk? Sure. But we're ignoring that and we're pretending. Creak of the door as I open the door to the balcony, we're pretending that today is just unseasonably hot in this godforsaken country, and that is the reason I can't stop sweating. Last night yesterday afternoon, me and a bunch of people in their 30s went for a bottomless brunch starting at 3:30 p.m. and by 8:15 I said, it must be 2 a.m. Surely it's 2 a.m. And they go, it's 8:15. And I said, I'll be getting the bus home. I was home and in bed by 9:15. It was glorious. I had done the night out, but it was in the afternoon. And that really is the transition in your 30s. You have to start going places earlier. You know, if we're looking at the clock, not like the digital, but the analog. Now, I actually don't have the time or space to look up if I'm using the right words. I'm talking about the 24-hour clock, the one that goes like 13, 14, 15. As you get older, you have to go out as the numbers go down. I guess that could work with both clocks, but my brain is sweating out through my pores. I think that is scientifically what a hangover is. I'm just sweating out tequila and Prosecco and oh God, and everything else these people fed me, these godforsaken British people. Now, what I was considering doing is reflecting on the past 40 episodes, thinking about it, because really it's been over a year since I've been doing the podcast, but I had to take a cheeky, sneaky break. Actually, perhaps it's just around a year, because 40 episodes, I took maybe a 2-month break, carry the one. Let's just say it's almost a year. But I was trying to reflect on, also, just so you guys know, I'm wearing a shirt that was sent to me by this lovely lady. I can't remember the company right now. I will think about it. And because I can't stop sweating, I'm not wearing pants. The window, the door on the right side of my body leads right to the street. So every time people pass me, there is a big gap of an open door that people look in, and I'm wearing nude undies, so it looks like I'm wearing the top half of an insane asylum straitjacket with absolutely nothing underneath and a bush. So it's just something to think about as you listen and watch what these people, these good, unsuspecting strangers on the street are seeing and experiencing. Is what you could get if you join my Patreon today. Would I do Patreon? Great question. I think we have to have about 10,000 more followers to be doing that. So I was considering, do we reflect on the 40? Do we reflect on who we've become as a group, as an individual? But it feels like I have regressed. On my wrist is a stamp to a club that I went out to last night. On my face is tequila and Jaeger bomb just seeping out of my body. And I feel like I wanted to come into this going like 40 episodes. What have we learned? Who are we? And I don't think I'm in the position to really be reflecting positively. Because there's a part of me that won't reflect positively. And then there's another part of me that will maybe reflect but pull the wrong lessons because I'm not in the headspace. I do think, we've had our ups, we've had our downs. Some episodes are better than others. Isn't that the truth? You can't have all perfect days. But what's been cool is like I feel like I've become more efficient at making these episodes. Like when I first did the episodes, something that was like 30, 40, 50 minutes, like might have taken me like 3 or 4 hours by the time I like record for 2 hours and then have to cut out a lot of ums and ahs. So what's bad for you guys but good for me is my yapping has become a lot stronger. I am a more efficient talker. And in that way, I feel like that's pretty cool because for me, it just makes this streamlined. I don't think that's like a lesson. That's a skill, a technical skill, a logistical skill, which we appreciate the improvement on. I wonder if I've changed personalities or like strengths at all. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Maybe you guys feel like you've seen a change. I don't think so. I think in some ways I've always been this person and I'm steady in a storm. Like if you met me if you got me to do this podcast when I was like 4, we'd probably still be discussing the same things. And if I had started when I was like 4, I'd probably be the same level as Joe Rogan because that's really what it is. He was an early adopter of the game and I don't know where the game's going next. So, what else did I want to discuss today? Great questions. I wanted to kind of just talk about a little bit of my week. I want to also talk about the fact, and I don't know what the overlap is here in this community of people who are watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'm going to assume it's somewhat high, and if it's not, I'm going to assume you would like it. The thing with The Summer I Turned Pretty, so it's a TV show that was based on a book. I think I don't know what years the books came out. I have not watched them. I have not read them. Sorry about that, faux pas. It's 2 brothers, and they fall in love with their, like, best friend who they kind of grew up with. And their parents, the mums, were besties. So the kids have just, like, always been around each other. And the girl has been in love with the older brother, and the younger brother and the girl slowly fall in love. And essentially, it's a classic girl in the center, brothers, all love each other, triangle, and we don't know how to fix it. And the brothers get angry and they as long as she's happy, bro, you treat her right kind of thing. The problem I have with The Summer I Turned Pretty is it is another show in a line of shows where we see the female lead falling in love with brothers. Where's the flip representation? Where's the guy falling in love with the 2 sisters? You don't really see it. We got Vampire Diaries. We've got My Life with the Walter Brothers. We've got Summer I Turned Pretty. There are endless examples of the man when the 2 brothers falling in love with the woman. And where is the representation of the guy falling in love with 2 smoking, banging sisters? I don't think we're ever going to get that. You know why? Because men would fuck with a bunch of sisters on a Tuesday for fun and not give a shit. Whereas at least in the woman version, she's tortured by it, she's surprised by it, she always falls for the bad guy by a mistake and doesn't mean to, and it always sneaks up on her and she's like, shit, But I don't think that you would get a guy would just be like, yeah, I'm fucking her sister too, bro. It wouldn't be about love. He wouldn't give a fuck about love. And so also to the audience, we'd go, oh, this fucking Lothario. Is that the right word? I think I just learned the word Lothario this week, I want to say. Here's that player. The douchebag, how insensitive to string 2 sisters along. Plus also I think the social stereotype of women being yappy or women being emotional, whatever, would take over, and then the guy would end up being like, whatever, dude, I don't even care about you 2. And then the girls would be like, nah, nah, nah. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing in society. Like it's like it just would not work. No one would watch it. I mean, I would watch it because I think that's interesting. Maybe this is the thing. They say not write what you know. That is the misconception about kind of creativity. Write what you know. I don't think it's that. Write what you don't see. But I also don't know if I want to give a space to that sort of thing. I don't know if I want to write a show or a book about 2 sisters fighting over a man. See, this is the thing. When 2 men fight, in quotes, over a woman, it's not fighting. They're pining. They're tortured. They desperately want her. They just want what's best for her. I don't think if there was the gendered flip, that we would perceive the same behavior as fighting. I think we'd perceive it as like sulking and grumpy and ungrateful. And this is the thing. And I can't do gender chat again today. I'm going to be so honest. I've been kind of pushing it down all week. Every time I've felt a bit shit about being a woman, I've gone, not this week, Jess, give me 1 week. Give me 1 week. The split brain in my head going, please just forget. Forget you're a woman. Forget the world hates women just for 1 week. Just give yourself. I need to be on a deserted island, just with no one around, just to allow the synapses in my brain to have some time to themselves, to just fire with no consequences. Because sometimes it feels like they're firing like fireworks in the sky and it's New Year's Eve and everyone's going, oh my God. And then some other people going, oh, I've seen better. And you're just like, yeah, for sure. I didn't really think that people were going to be watching these synapses fire off. You know what I mean? I thought this was going to be more of a solo dolo episode. In some ways, I just need to explode on an island where no one has access to it. You know, one of those remote islands that, you know, whoever, Captain Cook, didn't find yet. Also, I have a cut on the tip of my nose because I was gesticulating so vigorously last night whilst drunk that I scratched myself. I woke up this morning and I found blood in my eye, in the corners on my eye, and then I thought, that's not blood. That's just a little bit of your sleep mixed in with your brown eyeliner that you used last night to accentuate your green eyes that no one cares about. And so I was standing in front of the toilet going, are you bleeding from your corneas? Are you bleeding from the tear ducts in your eyes? Did you cry so hard? I didn't cry. I didn't cry. Imagine I had a deep voice like this all the time. Maybe I would get into reading books out loud. What's it called? An audio book. This is maybe the most disjointed episode I've done in a while. I do actually highly recommend it. I think it's great. I think you can like switch your brain off and just enjoy it. I think it's like great TV. They're all hot, fun. Like there's so many positives to it. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong. I just keep watching it because I used to watch Vampire Diaries. I'm watching The Walter Boys, The Summer with the Walter Boys or some shit like that. It's literally like the cowboy, the yeehaw version of Summer I Turned Pretty. And then I've watched other ones too, and I just keep thinking, there is just no flip. And if there was a flip, I don't think people would be into it. That's what's fucked up. That's the thing that's crazy about it. But I guess what can you do? Such is life. I mean, if they flipped, soccer to be women's soccer, a lot of the men wouldn't watch it. And hey-oh, don't they? Don't they not? Isn't that the thing? You know what I mean? In some ways, I wonder if evolutionarily male, female, and I'm talking about hets right now, the straights, I wonder if we are just still those cave men and women sitting in a little cave, unevolved, and if our brains, it's like, what's nature versus nurture? You know what I mean? Like, can a man who hates women learn to like women's soccer? I'd say yes, but also at the same time, you got to kind of want to, you know what I mean? You have to want to challenge the way that you think. If I was to write a show where it was a man falling in love with two sisters, it's like, would we like it? Who's to say? Maybe we like the fact that there is an imaginary world where this woman has found not one, but two potential love interests in a world where it's hard to find even one, you know? Maybe we like the fact that these brothers are tortured over this kind of like basic lead. Who's to say? And I wonder if we had a basic male lead vying for two incredible women. I don't know. Got to crunch the numbers on that, and I'll get back to you on that. So I'll crunch the numbers on that. I'll write that out. I'll see what people think. I'll get that made into a major motion Hollywood TV show, and then we'll kind of just run this simulation back from the top. You guys let me know what you think. I'll get HBO to pick it up. I'll get it to be streamed in every single country, and then we can kind of just sit down all together and be like, what do we think? Was that worth it? You know, so I think that's the plan. I'm glad we came to a resolution on that front to figure out if people can change our ideas of it. And I'm sure there are movies or TV shows where there has been the opposite, but they ain't major motion. They ain't mainstream. I can't think of a single, and maybe this is like, one of those things where in like the 80s, someone made like a cult classic, like she's the man, or what's it called? What's the one where they take the glass off and they're like, you're beautiful. Like maybe there's an equivalent. I don't know that anything I'm saying is going to connect with you. So what else did I do this week? I binge watched that show, The Summer I Turned Pretty. I also went and saw Les Mis. Now at Les Mis, what struck me as fascinating, I never watched the movie because everyone was like, it's terrible. Fine. fine. And it's confusing. You can have me with a good movie that's confusing. You can have me with a movie that's bad but not confusing. You can't give me both. I cannot do it mentally, emotionally, sexually. It's too many fingers in too many different pies. But I was told, go see Les Mis, the musicale. It is fabulous. It's amazing. La la la. Now, I don't actually know anything about Les Mis. This is the thing. I went in blind. I sat in the very back row, 30 pounds. Thank you so much. Good to see ya. Next to me is a lady eating gummy bears. We get to chit-chat, and she tells me she loves to go see theatre. She's watched the movie Les Mis twice. She was like, if it's confusing, you let me know. And I thought, mother, thank you. She could tell that I was going to be utterly confused from start to finish. And in the intermission, she did say, do you have any questions? I said, that's my line. I say, ask crowds that all the time. Now, what I will say, Les Mis, I mean, it's about the French Revolution. I don't really know that I grasped much, other than the fact that many, many, many characters die. And the thing about that is the duration of the death was just ridiculous. These people would be lying there, coughing up blood. They've just been shot multiple times. You're bleeding out, son. Die. Let yourself go. And then they go into a 6-minute song. Also, and I didn't really realize this because I also saw Mamma Mia, which is very similar to the movie. But some of the musicals don't actually speak. They sing the entire time. Now, I don't have the battery power on my personality or my camera to Google to see if there is a difference and why some are spoken with words, then into a song, and others are just the song the whole way through. Perhaps the song the whole way through is like traditional musicals. I don't know. But in Mamma Mia, they speak. Love the dialogue. It helps me a little bit because sometimes I go, am I going deaf? I actually can't distinguish the words they're saying from the music. Sometimes it's so loud in Les Mis. And so half of it I go, what language? Are you guys singing in English? Are you guys singing, enunciating your words? You're Brits. You should be enunciating more. And so they die for like 27 minutes. With these long songs lying there, being held by someone coughing and spluttering and going, and you think, okay, they're dead. And then they come back alive and they go, and I'll remember us together. I'm like, no one cares. Just say the words because you're singing for so long and the songs are so boring. The song has to be catchy and fun and exciting if you are putting something in song. Otherwise, you're just singing what you're saying. And everybody has a musical theatre friend in school or university who used to sing all the time. And it's so fucking annoying. I hate when people sing, whether it's a radio song or whatever, staring at you like singing, even in a club. Don't stand there. We're gonna have a good night. Don't make eye contact with me, bitch. That's creepy. I don't want that. So Les Mis, it's 3-4 hours long. Could have been 90 minutes if every death was just... That's enough. Give them a song earlier if they really need to prove a point. I don't want to be there watching you cough into a hanky time and time again between each song, each portion of the song. You're coughing blood into a hanky. You'd be dead. And yeah, I know we have to suspend our reality to believe we're watching a musical to begin with, but at the same time, I just thought, oh, come on, die faster, bitch. It was good overall, but truly an hour too long. And not because we all have TikTok patience where we're just like, next, but because it just dragged a little. But they were awesome. It wouldn't make me want to watch the movie though. And my mum next to me, she was like, yeah, this was way better. I'm glad you saw it. And I understood a good majority of it. I'm sure there are nuances and historical portions I didn't catch, but sometimes knowing is enough. Now, I have been listening to a podcast about, well, it's an audiobook, and it's about like just increasing your creativity and just kind of not more grateful. What's the word? I don't know, but one of the suggestions was at the end of every day, write down what you do. I feel like I can be midway in my day and be like, what have I done today? Like my memory and maybe I'm not present for things. So I'm like, I literally don't know what I'm doing. So I've started writing down at the end of the day. I have a little book. I leave it next to my desk. And every night before I go to bed, I woke up at this time roughly, did this, did that, da-da-da. And perhaps that's going to make me happy. Perhaps that'll also help me remember things more, like what I do. Maybe it'll make me more present, God willing. I mean, Jesus Christ. My brain is literally, like I said, firing on all cylinders at all times. Maybe something's wrong with... No, Nicole would have told me. My therapist would have told me. she's not hoarding any of the answers, I don't think. She seems like she's a free market information girly. So anyway, I'm just writing down at the end of the day how I'm feeling, what I'm up to, and well, not even feelings, because I think it's more supposed to be the logistics of your day, which is kind of fun. Now let's do some kind of manifesting before the camera dies and I die, that the next 40 episodes, what do we want from them? Well, I'd love more engagement, for you guys to tell me more of the things you want. That would be great. I want more stories. So for example, this is why today I am going out. And this is why yesterday I went and got drunk for you. I'm trying to have new experiences. I'm trying to fill whatever hole you guys might have for me living my life. That's why I went out last night and got drunk, because of you. I got drunk because of you. You can't say I'm not trying hard to have some sort of worldly experiences. It's why I'm going to the museum. It's why I'm going to hang out with people I don't really want to hang out with all the time. And that's not an offense on the other people. Sometimes I just want to sit in a room by myself, rock back and forth, and stare at social media. Yeah, I think that's terrible for us. I think that's bad for all of us. I think leaving the house, unfortunately, is the only way for humans to kind of be happy. And who wants to hear that? Not me. That's why when people want to talk about AI and comedy and they go, oh my God, is AI taking the jobs? Maybe AI can write some mediocre jokes, which so are humans. So I don't really care about it on the joke writing side of things, because always AI can't come up with like random as fuck situations, like when you're walking down the street and something happens. AI can't do that. And maybe it could take a culmination of all the information of other people's experiences and create something completely random, sure. But then you have to have a personality to be on stage. You have to like hone your skills. Why did I even start talking about AI? I don't even have a fully fleshed out opinion on it yet. Perhaps that will be a more extensive episode. Okay, so This episode has felt like an absolute wish-wash mishmash of nothing. Could there have been a better episode to celebrate 40 episodes? 40 years. Could you imagine doing podcast? Soon there will be someone who will hit 40 years. I can't even unpack that mentally. Not that I'm not in it for the long haul with you guys. I really am. I'm here till the day you die, and I will do Patreon so that when you die, your family can request a specific episode that will play on the headstone of your gravestone. Headstone, play from the gravestone, okay? So that every week, maybe it's more like this. In death, every Tuesday, you guys get an episode. Maybe that'll keep you busy in the boxes down below. I really wanted to reflect on the past 40 episodes. I should have listened to the first one in preparation for this. Maybe everyone pause your episodes and go back to the first one. Play it now. Let's come back to this. Ready? I didn't do it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't do it. I'm on a timeline. But I think let's close this episode out with some wishful thinking. I hope the next 40 episodes we change some shit up. We keep things interesting. I am living life so that hopefully that's interesting. I mean, soon I'm going to go to Paris. That'll get us something. That should inspire the nation. Then I go to America. That should inspire us. Then I come back here. I'll be back in this room. So there'll be some familiarity, some comfort after a whirlwind. I'm going to go see Moulin Rouge in Paris. I'm going to try to do a ghost tour in Paris. I'm going to try to live life. I bought a jacket this week, which was much too expensive, but it's leather with fur trim. I'm going to wear that in Paris. It's like kind of like a cape. So it's beautiful. I called my friend. I said, I need you to bully me about this purchase. I need you to tell me, Jess, stop doing it. And she said, okay, let me see what it looks like. Now we met up. I show her it. And she said, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm not going to be able to bully you on this front because that is a fucking spectacular coat. I said, don't tell me that. That gives me goosebumps. Don't tell me that. That makes me think my taste is so impeccable that when I find something, I got to buy it. And that isn't a good mentality to be walking around with. I will say, this week I have made a few smaller purchases, all of which I am very proud of, because I also, with every purchase you buy, with every purchase you make, you are saluting the things you did not buy. You are showing yourself and the world, look at me, not being consumerist to the nth degree. Because I know some friends who they will order thousands of dollars of online. At least right now, I am trying my hardest to not buy online. I am trying my hardest. If I'm going to buy, it's from a vintage place. If I'm going to buy, it's maybe from just like a shop, but I will always, that jacket with the fur trim, that's vintage, honey. That's vintage, honey. you know? So it's like, at least I'm trying. And I think that is literally me scraping together a couple pennies of like ethics and morals, going like, look at me saving. Yeah, I'm saying something that's like the most obvious and like whatever, but we're humans and we're flawed and we are fucked. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to be better. Well, I do, but being better is hard, as we all know. So anyway, I made a bunch of purchases this week. Not a bunch, maybe 3. Yeah, maybe 3. But I turned down 1,000. And we gotta be celebrating those odds. You know what I mean? We gotta be. I mean, that's some pretty good stuff. To go 3 for 1,000, you'd almost say I'm stupid. You know what I mean? Like if you were doing a test and I got 3 out of 1,000, you'd almost go, does this girl know she's studying? Did she know to study? No. And that's probably for the best. I did at the brunch, at the boozy brunch yesterday. I was sitting on the side with a British person and a Canadian, and we were chit-chatting about studying abroad and exchange and whatnot, because the British one stayed here, but the Canadian one studied here and then went abroad to Australia. I went to Boston, which is how I knew my friend who was the nucleus of this bottomless brunch. She brought together everybody and we were chit-chatting about America and Australia and going on exchange. And I was reflecting on my exchange experience. And let me tell you, my university allowed me to go on exchange to America and allowed for the results to be pass-fail. So that means in Australia, I had to get a distinction or whatever to be in a good enough level to then get like a postgraduate or to whatever. I don't really know, because there was not a second of my life where I actually was like, oh, I'm going to use my degree. I was appeasing my parents. You know what I mean? I was like, let them be happy and me miserable for a couple more years. Why not? When I was in America, they said because the classes don't overlap properly, like the way the American system works is so different to the Australian, we just let you go pass-fail. I said, huh? I came alive in that moment. When I tell you I was doing jack shit to study for these exams. The American college system has some of the funniest classes you will ever hear of in your life. They are so random, niche, and specific that you're like, and people are complaining that they're paying so much money for it. You're telling me you're going $200,000 in debt by the time you graduate, or whatever number it is. That's insane. But you've taken a class that's rappers who became actors. I took Film 101, America 101. That's the sort of shit I was taking pass-fail. And I am screaming because at the end of the Film 101 semester, the teacher goes, so if anyone's looking to enroll further in film, next year I teach an elective called Rappers Who Became Actors. Eminem, 50 Cent, all these people who have become actors. That's the entire course. And you're going heavily in debt for that? Yeah, sign me up, bitch. I went straight into the admin office and I said, can I stay another 6 months? I have a course that I need to take. Because also I wasn't paying American prices. This is the other thing when you study abroad. You ain't paying for their tuition fees. You're paying yours and you're just flouncing around for 6 months. I mean, obviously it's expensive because you have to pay for housing and stuff like that. But like in the scheme of things, like, you know. Anyway, I was telling the girls, we were reflecting and I said, I can't even tell you. I was drunk for more than I was sober for that 6 months. And I remember once I had to take the America 101 whatever, and I barely studied, and I was friends with this big doe-eyed girl, still friends with her, going to her wedding soon. She's the sort of person that on dating apps, like, men would never actually want to, like, men would be like, you look like wife material. Like, that's big doe eyes. Doe eyes? Yeah, surely. And she would get us out of trouble if we ran into the police. She'd be like, so sorry, sir, with her huge eyes. I'm like, yeah, you use your feminine wiles to get us out of trouble. I don't mind. I will be regressive in the moment where there's a police officer and a woman with big eyes. You flap those eyes and make us seem stupid as shit. I will say, I have no problem pretending to be dumb to get help. I know. Don't look at me like that. I know. Okay. Whatever. That doe-eyed princess, she is the reason I pass-failed that American Academy, because I'll tell you what, I got 3 out of 10 on an exam that I barely studied for, and I reckon she went and used her wiles on a man just to get me through and out of that country. So thank God to her, and I will be attending her wedding soon, and that is why. Now, do I have anything to say? No, the camera's blinking at me. I've got to get the fuck out of here. Thank you for listening to the past 40. If you haven't listened to any of them, go back, listen to them. If you have, listened to them again, who cares? I'm going to go listen to them right fucking now from 0 to 40. Why not? Look, here's to another 40. I think they'll be a lot of fun. Love you lots. You guys are a lot of fun. I appreciate you listening every single week to me just rambling, shit talking. This episode... If this is your first time listening, go and listen to something else. This is some random mishmash shit of nothing. I didn't prepare because I'm hungover, and this is the first time. In fairness, ask the others, ask the other listeners. I'm never hungover. So I really hope this isn't the first time you're hearing of me, and if you are, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm usually much better than this, so please go back, listen to some, go listen to something else. But stick with me because we're getting better and it's all about improvement. Here's to another 40. Here's to the future. Here's to something better coming along. Here's to all of us. Here's to you. Here's to me. Here's to family. Here's to me bike riding to the British Museum because I'm running very late. And the idea of being stuck in a tube is a no-no for me. So... all jokes aside, when you made speeches for people's Sweet 16, it's like, don't change for the world, let the world change for you. I've been thinking about that saying, change for the world. There's a lot of you who don't need the world to change for you, who you actually do need to change for the world. For the world's sake, for all of our sake. Too many people, when they were in an important time when their brain hadn't developed yet, were told, don't change for the world, let the world change for you. We did people dirty with that saying. Many of you need to change for the world. It's imminent. It's important. Change today. Change now. Change yesterday. This bullshit of building everyone up. You're so unique. Dance like no one's watching. Everyone's watching. You're an idiot. Stop being yourself. Fix your shit and come back to us a better person. And on that note, I have got to go. Tra-la-la, toodaloo, love you lots. Mwah. See you later. Thanks for listening to all 40 episodes. Good God, it's been a ride and a half. But it's also been free for you guys. So, hey, you can't be too ungrateful for what I've been giving you. Okay, I'm trying to run out the battery, just as a symbolic thing to just let it be like, bling, we're done. But it's just not dying. And maybe that's what this episode also feels like for some of you, because it won't stop. Maybe some of you stopped after 10 minutes going, this isn't it. She's hungover and she's sweating out tequila. Yeah, this shirt is drenched in liquor. Top shelf too. Nah, not really. All the people I went out with, we poor as hell. It was bottom shelf shit. They go, do you want to pick? I hate at bars when they ask you, do you want to pick what sort of tequila? I said, what sort of, do I look like I know what sort of, I'm a name brand slut for alcohol, put the cheapest shit in a cup, add some lime so I can't taste it, and get out of here, cunt. That's crazy. It's an insane question. Do you want to choose between this and that? Huh? I chose. It's either vodka or tequila, and I said to you tequila. I didn't realize now I have to, there's subset A, B, C types of alcohol. What the fuck are you talking about, cunt? That's why I don't go out, because every time you step out of the door, not only does it cost you money, but there's way too many questions. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Just tell me where to go, and I will blindly, I will just follow. Having choice is horrible. Think about it. 10,000 years ago, the choice is, do you stay in the cave or do you leave and get eaten by a hyena? No worries. I'll be in the cave all day and I'll be happy. Smile on my face while I hear the hyena gnawing on the stupid toddler's body who ran outside of the cave. You know what I mean? Survival of the fittest? I don't think so. Survival of the least fit is what it is. I'm sitting in that cave, bitch, and I'm happy. We are all, the people who have survived, all of us walking around today are the smartest. Could you imagine that? We are the smartest evolutionarily. We are a product of the smartest genetics that have survived. Good God. The fact that there have been dumber ones who have died. That's fucking insane to think about. Now we're hitting a stride as the battery's about to die. Now we're hitting some really good magical points. Anyway, look, okay, I've got to be the one to pull the plug because I've got to go ride 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to have to ride my fucking heart out and get there sweaty. Walking around the museum looking like a sweaty bag of, well, not bones. I can't say that about myself. Like a sweaty, thick, juicy balloon. Is that making you hungry yet? A nice thick steak. Thank you so much over and over again. Go listen to a better episode because this was a fucking mess. But aren't we all? And that's symbolic. And that's why I am you, you are me, and we are one of the people. We are all the same. Love ya. Happy 40th. Happy 40th. That's why I got drunk. I got drunk at 3:30 like a 40-year-old woman who was celebrating her birthday. It all adds up at the end of the day. Gotta go. Mwah.